Hello, and welcome to Getting It Done, a podcast about music, education, and life lessons. I'm your host, Tim Rausenberger, and today is Saturday, May 9th, 2020. This is episode 340. What do we do now? What do we do now? That is the question. And it's a very big question that I'm going to address in the middle of the episode. I think the most important question right now that I have for all of you is, how are you? How have you been? As some of my friends say, it's been a minute. I have not been online, I should say, on my YouTube channel in about a month. And I wouldn't say that it was intentional why I took such a long break. I have been extremely busy. And I've been learning and pontificating. Big word. I have been mourning. I've been helping. And I think it's safe to say that I've been hurting, because this has been a very difficult time. Not just for me, but for the world. Before I go through all of the topics that you see on the screen, and if you want to bypass this, by all means, one of the things I'm doing with my future podcasts is giving you the timestamps so you can go directly to specific topics. But I think it's really important that we are there for each other right now. Someone is out there who will listen to you and will help you. I said this recently to all of my students. There's always someone who is willing to help you. All you have to do is ask. And one thing that I can say to you, if you have taken the time to tune in and to watch this episode, you have taken a personal interest in my content. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. And I do not take that lightly. So if you don't have anyone to talk to, hit me up. Drop me an email, drop me a message, leave a comment below, anything at all, because we're all in this together. That's an expression that musicians say, teachers say it, but right now we're all in this together. And if you have found yourself down at all, if you found yourself unmotivated, I'm right there with you. I have had my moments in recent weeks where I have not wanted to do a thing. I mean, I'm talking about not getting out of bed, because you just cannot believe what's going on right now in the world. If you're scared, that's normal. If you're frightened, that's normal. If you're terrified, that's normal. And if you have had that emotional roller coaster, that's normal too. These are some very tough times. And I can safely say, having lived through 9/11, September 11th, 2001, and having lived through the Gulf War, I can tell you with certainty that I have never experienced anything like what's happening with this pandemic. So please know that if you're going through something right now, I get it, and there are a lot of other people who get it too. We understand, and it's okay. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, it's not okay if that's what's been happening every single day, because needs to be a point where we make changes. So the question is, what do we do now? What do we do now? 3 things. Number 1, you must change. You have to change. There are things that are never going to be the same again. And they're going to impact you and your loved ones in some way. And you have to be ready for that. Number 2, you have to adapt. Part of living life is adapting to things, is adapting to your surroundings. There's that saying, adapt or perish. It's true. And number 3, and I've been saying this now for 3 years, if you have ever tuned in to my podcasts. Number 3, get educated. You must educate yourself. You must have a clue, have an idea of what is going on. Nothing is more unsettling to me than when I have a conversation with a very bright individual, whomever that person may be. It could be a parent. It could be a friend. It could be a colleague in education. It could be a musician. Nothing is worse than when I will say something to the person that's basic and they don't know what I'm talking about. And when I'm talking about basic, I'm talking about important things going on in the world. You need to know what's going on. And that means acquiring the information. Well, that's not easy to do, because what's fact, what's fiction? There's that whole entire thing, fake news. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I do know that news comes out of Fox, news comes out of CNN, news comes out of CBS, ABC, the various branches of NBC. News comes from Twitter, from other forms of social media. I can tell you that it's important that you get the news somehow, but choose wisely. And make sure that the news you're getting is not so skewed where opinion starts to replace reality, or where it's absolutely clear that the complete information you need to make an educated decision is not being presented to you. But for heaven's sake, do something and make some type of attempt. If you're wrong, you're wrong, but at least it's better than having no idea and just avoiding things. One of the worst things I've seen in recent weeks, the people out there who have just put their heads into the sand and la 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 la, I'm not listening right now. Bad idea. Bad idea. Because what's going to happen is you're going to wake up and you're not going to have any idea what's going on in the world. It'll be like that person who's in a coma for an extended period of time. What we are seeing right now, what we are witnessing, is unlike anything I have seen in my life. So, what do we do now? 3 things. You got to change, you got to adapt, you got to get educated. It's simple as that. And if you do those 3 things, you're going to be better. We're all going to be better. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms, to all those who are caretakers of children. Because right now, more than ever, they need you. Being a mother is something obviously I cannot relate to. I think we can figure out why. And not just because I'm not female, but also because I'm not a parent. I don't have children. But I do have 25 years in education, teaching every type of child from pre-K up through 12th grade in every socioeconomic area and every type of learner. And I can tell you that there's one thing that's a constant. Every mother I have ever met in my life has her own way of raising her children. And I'll say it once, and I'll say it 1,000,000 times. It is no one's right to be judging others as to how a mother decides that she is going to raise a child. Mothers are not perfect, but they have usually a very, very clear idea of how they want to do things. And everybody's situation is different, and the circumstances are different. If you're a single mom, I think that you should get like a double Mother's Day. I think if you're just a single parent, period. Because if you're a single dad and you're raising kids, Mother's Day is for you as well. Just like Father's Day is for a single mom as well. I've always felt that way. And let's go one step further. Is Mother's Day to be celebrated once a year? I think not. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 366 days a year. Because even when the children are not in the presence of a mother or in the presence of a parent, those children are on the mind of that parent. They're always there. It never leaves. So, one thing I know for a fact is that when a parent drops off their child to my school or sends their children on a bus, or the children leave home and they walk to school, we as educators assume a tremendous responsibility. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to teach these children and be their caretakers during the day and do the very best we can. While we are not parents, we are part of the process. We're part of that education, teaching them right from wrong, helping them make better decisions to be productive members of society. I would love to believe that every mother out there has the same intent. Some have an interesting way of showing it, but I think one thing is certain. If you're going to go through 9 months and then ultimately a childbirth, there has to be something inside of that person that makes a connection to the person you brought into the world, and that never leaves. So to all the moms out there, we support you, and thank you during this extremely difficult time in our history, where some of you right now have 2, 3, 4, 5 roles at home, with homeschooling, with parenting, with working. I cannot fathom how difficult that must be, but I will say to every mom out there, please know that we're all behind you. And if you feel like you're alone, again, you're listening to this podcast. I know one person who will definitely talk to you. Happy Mother's Day. Future YouTube channel content. So this is the big announcement that I've been wanting to make. Over the course of the past month, I have had a lot of time to reflect on a lot of different things. It's been a difficult time, I'm not going to lie. Unfortunately, many people in my life, professional and personal, have been afflicted with COVID-19. Most have been able to make it through. Some not as easy as others. Some are at home right now on oxygen. And sadly, quite a few have perished. People that I know personally. And it has not been easy. I certainly did not want to do a podcast episode where my mind was just not in the right place when I think about some of the things I've experienced recently. But I can tell you that I have spent a lot of time thinking things through as to how I'd like to proceed with my channel. First of all, the one tremendous announcement that I would love to make is that we have passed over 2,000 subscribers. I am so happy. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have worked so hard over the course of the past month promoting the content that I already had out there to so many different entities, and I'm so proud to say that the subscriber count has finally elevated after being kind of in a this period of I don't even know what it was for quite some time, and you get frustrated. But I'm glad that there are so many people who do believe in the content. There are certain episodes that have really taken off, and I got some great feedback. One of those episodes certainly was episode 333. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, I encourage you to do so. I filmed that one in Sam's Club, and I'm so glad that I did. It's one of my favorite episodes. I love going back to watch it again and again. So that will definitely be a format that I will use in the future. So one thing with the podcasts, I'm not going to be doing as many live podcasts. The live podcasts that you have known in the past. It's not that I'm abandoning them completely, but the fact that I have now past 2,000 subscribers has given me some new possibilities for the channel, which is great, and it's very, very exciting. I have found some new software, some editing software, post-production software that I think will make a very, very big difference. You're going to start seeing episodes with screen sharing. We're certainly going to finally have the picture-in-picture going on. I am definitely going to be doing interviews during this virtual period, and you've seen a lot of these, whether it's people using Zoom or other types of platforms. But rest assured, I'm going to be doing things of that nature. So I'm not getting rid of live streams, but they may just be in a different format. There will be some episodes I'm going to do that will not be available to the public. Some of them will be private and by invitation only. And I will certainly advertise those, and in some cases, and then in other cases, they'll just be sent by private invitation. I'm going to be doing interviews. There are a bunch of people who have come to me saying that, quite honestly, they'd be interested in being interviewed. And it's something I enjoy doing. I love interviewing people. I love talking to people in general. And I personally enjoy giving someone a platform to be able to promote themselves. And I love to be able to help them in that way. Which then brings me to my final announcement, which is the big one. I'm very, very happy to tell you that I'm getting back into performing. And I have had moments in my life when I've taken time off, but I am so moved and so inspired by the musicians out there who are taking the time to create these performances. Yes, there are some performances out there that are not the best. There are some out there that are quite good, and they're not perfect. Those are probably my favorite ones, because I think the imperfections make it, well, perfect. And there are some other virtual performances that have just been downright stellar. And I commend all of those people. The great news is that over the past month, I've been in touch with two different entities, one in Russia and one in the UK, in England, Great Britain. And I have been in touch with these two entities where we have decided to collaborate, where they are going to be producing musical content on their end, and I'm going to produce my own. I will be doing all the editing and be able to share some wonderful moments with you. A lot of it will be singing, and a lot of different forms of singing. I've already started making some recordings. It's just a matter of getting them out there. But they need to be edited, and it takes time. Some of them are going to be very, very surprising. And I have some other concepts, something I actually just thought of earlier today, which I think is going to really surprise a lot of people when they see the video. Episode 333 was a litmus test. It was to find out if I challenged myself, what the possibilities could be. And I'm so happy that that episode has received so many views, and the feedback I've received from people has been just nothing short of tremendous. So and finally, the other thing I'm going to be doing with my YouTube channel content will be webinars. My webinars, quite bluntly, are going to be different than a lot of the other webinars out there. I will get to that at a later time. I'm not going to get into all of that now. I will just say that there have been some wonderful webinars out there, and there have been some downright dreadful ones I've seen in the past month. And I know that I can create a webinar that will be very useful to people out there. I would like to end today by saying thank you. Thank you for all of your support over the past year with the YouTube channel and the past 3 years with all of my podcast content. If you have not had a chance to listen to my audio episodes on iTunes and SoundCloud, the first 250 episodes are on there. My friends, I don't say this because I produce the content. I'm saying it because I care about you. There's some really good content that you will find so helpful. You just need to make the time and just listen. I assure you, there's something there for you that you can enjoy. The material is all free. It's just a matter of going on to iTunes and looking up Getting It Done, Timothy Rausenberger, or same thing with SoundCloud. And with both of them, you can make free accounts. I would like to thank you for being you and making it through this awful time period and knowing that it's not going away anytime soon. But we are all in this together. And as I said before, especially to the students out there is someone out there who is willing to listen to you. Whoever that person is, be in touch with others. Do not seclude yourself. Being in isolation is one thing. Being in social isolation, where you don't communicate with anyone, is another. And that's not healthy. So be sure that you are communicating with other people. Force yourself to get outside. Get some fresh air. Tomorrow, if you live in New York City, New Jersey, that's not the day. I should say tomorrow and I guess today, because we have this polar vortex going on here. But I really appreciate all of you very, very much. And any comments, concerns, questions, as always, you can leave it in the comments. You can contact me privately. All my information is available. You can go to my website, gettingitdone.us. And I think it's very, very fitting as I end all of my live episodes by saying to everyone out there, peace.